Hey, sheesh. We live, baby.
What's happening? What's
What's
happening?
happening? What's happening?
Welcome back to Hito Nasu. We are in you may not see it, but this is a morning shift.
Yep.
S-
Mm. I'm sorry if
um
my voice sounds a bit.
yeah, we're both in our morning voices right now. So it's gonna be, we're gonna I don't know, we'll probably act like we're in a hangover or something. But
Now, if like, hopefully this goes well. The morning streams, if my voice keeps on going like this, because I'll do more morning streams. We'll see how it goes. I mean,
damn,
morning records. But
sunshine corner.
if it's if it sounds bad, holy shit, I'm moving back into the night, bro. Holy shit, like.
As it. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
alright.
That's okay. No, that's the fun part.
You know what?
We're all like, we're not collected yet, and then we have to do all these important informations. So
Yeah, but
might be
yeah.
fun. Might be fun.
So before we start, right, I'd like to like thank everyone for the amazing support and what's it called? Everything that all the love that we've been getting from our previous episode as well. I've actually read your messages. Thank you to my family as well. I don't know why I gotta say it, but I gotta say it every time because it's like it's like love they've been showing us, for a long time and like
Yes,
shit.
sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for still saying, and to my audio listeners as well. I love you. All right.
Exactly.
We love you, bro. So, like, today's topic is gonna be really funny. I mean, not funny, but like a bit scary. That's why I think Pest chose it 2 in
Yeah.
the morning. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. But yeah, today we'll be diving in straight away. You know what? Let me just change the ambience straight away. I'm kind of ready. I'm feeling it. Alright,
You sure?
I'm very
Is it
sure.
just like the
Alright,
morning rush?
yep.
Maybe.
Today we are diving into folktales. Now, folktale is like it's like how do you say it? Like it's like a body of culture shared by particular group of people, right? As per Google, right? And it encompasses tradition common to that culture, subculture or group. So basically, people from villages and whatnot, right? They have their oh shit, I got people. I'm sorry if you guys hear what's it called notifications. It's my phone. So you usually hear stories from these villages as well. Back when in Adventure Time, a disaster of an episode, in my opinion. But as I went to and stayed in the villages, right, we did hear a lot of folk tales by the village group as well. And today, we'll actually be exploring some of the folk tales or urban legends as well.
Yes, sir.
Yes, and Pes, hey, are you like well known with your folk tales? I know like we spoke about a lot of folk tales even
Yeah.
before the podcast. Like actually I think Pes right here, if I'm not mistaken, was the first one to ever get me into Malaysian folktale. If I'm not mistaken, I think I'm right. Yeah, because I learned a lot from Pes when it comes to folktales as well. So I'm pretty sure you had your experience hearing it from your family members or whatnot, right?
Feel like, oh, okay. Just to give context for everybody,
Yep.
we're gonna be diving down into the Southeast Asian folk tales today. And, well, I guess I grew up here. And I think like with everybody who grew up, around the region knows these, especially like the Malayans one. Because
Yeah.
these guys have Malay blood in them, I think.
Yeah, there.
But I mean, growing up, there's like several stories, several folk tales that, um, even if it's not from like story of someone telling it to me verbally, mostly is like it comes out in movies and whatnot back in the early 2000s when I was growing up. So I think some of them are told to me by verbal stories. Some of them were, when I watched movies back then when I was a kid. And I feel like, of course, like the biggest ones like Pontianak, Orang Minyak and whatnot. Southeast Asians would know who they are, especially like Malaysians and some of the Indonesians folktales as well. But we're gonna go into slightly different ones. They're still famous, but not
Not as
not like the big
famous.
three. Not
Yeah.
like the big three. Yeah. So hopefully we have fun today reading about them. Definitely not because I'm just gonna cope by making funny jokes because I don't want chills down my spine. Even though I know it's morning, there's sunshine, I shouldn't be scared. But talking about them, I'm a guy who likes to think a lot. Imagine stuff in my head. So definitely not a good combination.
Yeah. But it's fine though. Like, folktales, like, this is a kind of funny thing, right? Because folktales, if I'm not mistaken, is always
Yeah.
said in oral tradition, right? Like, we speak
Hmm.
about it. So, like, it feels like kind of weird that Hito Nasu is gonna do its first folktale in oral tradition as well. So,
Yeah.
it feels kind of weird, but I'm ready for it. You know what? I've been wanting to do this. Let's go. I'm ready.
Okay. Before we start, I have a question.
Yes.
So,
Shoot.
what do you think is the big difference between superstitions and folk tales?
Well, folktale, as I said, is usually said in oral tradition, right?
Superstitions comes from old tradition,
No, oral tradition. You speak about them.
oral traditions, right?
Yes. And superstition is very
Because some of
different.
these, because some of these folk tales consist of superstitions. So
Not
I feel
all
like
of
the two.
them.
Yeah, not
So,
all of them, of
so,
course.
like, if you look at it, superstition is basically a black cat crossing the road. So
And then
it's
thinking that is going to be a
yes,
bad
it's
day.
a belief
That is
in the
superstition.
supernatural. This one is a belief in
Folk tales is like you
uh,
saw something
it's a story
unnatural.
made up by your old parents, basically, if you can put it in simple terms, right? Or
Right,
myths
this is like
shared
a
among.
bedtime story,
Yeah, it's like
kind of.
it's legit like a bedtime story.
But what if, like, then what justifies for people who actually saw these things? Is it just the manifestation,
That's a
or
different question altogether. But it's definitely their manifestations, or maybe like I heard the Orang Minyak story from my friends, were kind of true. And I'm like, I don't know,
yeah,
bro. I don't know, man. It's your convictions, or like, did it actually happens? And Pes, there were actually news articles on a lot of these Japanese urban
yeah,
legends that
yeah,
I've read
yeah.
before as well. So I must say that I have not seen any of these traditions,
So
but I've seen
we just need to find them.
facts, and that's what Hito Nasu is gonna do, bro. We're gonna go
We're
to a
ghost
forest
hunter.
one day. Yeah, we're gonna be ghost hunters one day. And we're gonna vlog that
Yeah,
shit, bro. We're
then
gonna
we're
get
gonna
a.
end up as ghosts.
Yo, don't say that, bro. Don't say that. Don't say that. We're gonna interview a ghost one day, Pez.
Yeah, it's just like,
We're
like
gonna ask them the
fucking
difference between
like a
folktale.
weather report. Like, what do
Legit.
you think is happening to the forest like in 2025?
Yeah, what do you
And they'll
think?
be like,
Ah, shit.
yeah,
I need more banana trees, or something like that.
exactly. Their deforestation is like bad for the spirits. God damn it.
Yes. That's probably one of your funniest jokes. Damn. Alright.
That's
Hopefully
okay.
that
That's good.
answers your question. Like, I couldn't go in depth because, like,
Don't worry, don't worry.
superstition is kind of different. But this is the best part,
Yeah,
because
figuring it out.
people in the comments, you'll help us out.
Exactly.
Answer Pessa's
Exactly.
question, please. I would love to know all of you guys' answers as well. So yeah, um, we're gonna dive into our first urban or folktale.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
uh, Pess, I might need help with the name. So it's called Sister. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty.
Yeah.
So it's called. So this urban legend is called Suster Ngesot.
No, it's nge. It's like
So Ngesot.
yeah.
Okay, so basically it means the scary sliding nurse. All right, this article was published around April 22, 2010. So we do not know the validity of it, but this is the best part. It's a folktale at the end of the day. Wanna start now? All right. So this is the urban legend for the scary sliding nurse. One of the modern scariest tales that spread from mouth to mouth is the tales of Sister Ngesot. Hopefully, I'm saying it correct. Hopefully, I'm not butchering it.
Don't worry,
But
don't worry.
no one knows who started the tale and how did the story actually happen. This tale has become well known in every hospital in Indonesia. People believe there is at least one of Sister Ngesot in each hospital. So the author is saying that he has been staying in a hospital recently but never met that kind of spirit, right? So the tale is starting sometimes in the end of 1980s. Holy shit, that's a long time ago. There were a lot of variant of the tales. One of the most scariest tale about the sliding nurse is that she was a nurse in one public hospital and having an affair with one of well-known doctor in the hospital. One day, the nurse told the doctor that she was pregnant and want the doctor to be to be responsible. But the doctor, who had a family already, refused. He asked the nurse to do abortion, but she would like to keep the baby. Angrily, the doctor murdered the nurse and mutilated her. Some part of her body has been buried in the ground of the hospital, and her legs been thrown to other place. Since then, people claimed to often saw a nurse sliding at the alley of the hospital, looking for her legs. Now, another famous version of this tale is about the mass massacre of nurses that been made during the occupation of Holland to Indonesia in 1950s. At that time, many volunteering nurses who's helping Indonesian soldiers had been murdered and mutilated by Holland soldiers. Some says the nurses were come back from their dead to settle their work and help injured soldiers since the war was over and the spirits did not know about it. They hanged around in the hospital looking for the soldiers that need their help. Hmm. This modern ghost tales has dragged attention of some producers in Indonesia. Many movies about the spirit have been made and overall got a very good response from local viewers. Whoa. Well, there are actually three movies out of the sliding nurse. You can actually Google it and find out, but what a scary tale. We have another article that Pes will also get into. But do you have anything to add, Pes?
Okay, so like before, I was confused, right? If
Mm,
this was like picked up by like one specific story, which now isn't because there's so many versions
yeah.
of it. And now I feel like that kind of clarified me when they said like people believe there is at least one Suster Ngesot in each hospital. So that means that just clarifies there's gonna be different stories from
Yeah.
different experiences in the hospital. So technically, if you want to talk about the origins, it's hard now because
Like which
when
one
you
is valid,
say,
right?
yeah, exactly, where does it start? Where
Yeah.
was, it's like patient zero. So, mm,
But it's a good story of
yeah,
the
it
scary
is a
sliding
good
nurse
story.
nonetheless. I love it. Like shit, like this guy, this author has actually gone to
Yeah.
hospitals and he stayed there and he hasn't found any of the spirits. So like he's trying to
Mm.
uncover the story about this a lot.
So the premise is basically about a nurse who got into an affair
Yeah,
with a
with a
doctor.
doctor.
Yeah, and I feel like this is like the most common detail in every article they have about Suster Ngesot. So I feel like that's at least what happened to her
I
in
mean,
in
it
the
has to happen
beginning.
in a hospital, right?
Yeah, at the hospital, she was a nurse, got into an affair with
Fair.
a doctor, and then that's how it started. But then it just escalated to different versions of itself. But okay, so now we have another article. Well, technically not an article, but a chapter made by Creepy Agrest in Wattpad, telling another version of Suster Ngesot's story and premises. So I'm gonna start off by, well, telling you the details. Okay, another story of Suster Ngesot. So this is, oh, Suster. Means nurse, by the way, just to give you context. And Ngesot means crawling in Indonesian. So that's where she got the name Suster Ngesot, which is a crawling nurse, basically. So in the story, no one actually knows her real name, but this is where the story gets off. Once upon a beautiful female nurse. What? Once upon a time, a beautiful female nurse. Okay, I'm sorry. Like
That's fine. It's a
morning brain,
morning. It's a
morning brain.
morning brain.
Female nurse was working the night shift in an old hospital. The night was quiet, and she walked to the laboratory. The doctor on duty sprung on her and R-word her. I can't say that.
You
YouTube,
can't.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah. He then mutilated her legs. Okay, the word mutilated has been there in, different articles, so I guess that's what happens, really. Her legs, so she couldn't walk and had to crawl with her hands while dragging what was left of her legs behind her. She died that night and has haunted hospital corridors ever
Hmm.
since. Now, most people agree that the hospital was, is it Chipto or Kipto? Chipto Mangunkusumo Public Hospital, RSCM for short, in Jakarta, because that was the place Suster was allegedly seen alive. Okay, so
Hmm.
this gave a little bit of origin story, but another story claims she was a Dutch nurse who was gang R-word, and as she fought back the injuries, she got caused her feet to be amputated. Okay, most old hospitals from the Dutch colonial era have their own stories about Suster Ngesat. They say she wanders around hospital corridors or nearby alleyways, covered in blood and dragging her legs. People believe that if Suster Ngesot comes by, your body goes stiff and you lose the ability to
Oh.
speak. Once she passes, control over your body returns, while some insist that it's just a myth. Recently, a janitor claimed he saw Suster Ngesot at a hospital he worked at in Bandung, the capital city of Indonesia. As a new employee, he covered the night shift. One night, he had to clean the morgue when he suddenly got the feeling that someone was watching him. Holy shit, it's the fucking
Is
he
that?
continued cleaning in the hallway outside when the electricity suddenly shut off. Okay. With no lights, the man, called Budi, started getting scared. Then Budi heard a woman crying in pain.
Huh.
He tried to distract himself from the noise by playing music on his phone. Ayo.
Oh my
Damn.
god, this story. Okay, continue.
He got that
I know
what was
this. I
that?
know this story actually. Wait. Oh my. Okay, continue.
Which one was that? Oh, I forgot it. I forgot it. But I forgot the song. Okay, the last room on his rounds was the operating theater. Booty entered to start cleaning, but when he opened a dividing curtain right there, under the bed, he saw a pale nurse looking straight up at him. He tried to remain calm, but he dropped his mop, then his body froze.
Okay.
The nurse moved on, dragging herself along the floorway from Booty. She eventually disappeared into the toilet. For minutes, Booty couldn't do anything but stare as she made her slow way along the floor. After she was out of sight, he could move again, and he immediately packed his things. Booty quit his job the next day. Ah, okay. So basically,
Yep.
there's a little bit more context about the ghost. So they said some movies are also made on Sister Ngesot. We already know that. She really is an interesting ghost who doesn't harm people, but anyone can get scared to the bones on seeing her. There you go. That was the story. Well, at least some of the stories about Sister Ngesot.
That was pretty fun. Imagine a ghost not hurting you, but can petrify the shit out of you if you look at her. Holy shit. So imagine her crawling in front of you. See the sliding or the crawling woman or the sliding nurse. Holy shit, that's kind of scary.
I'll be right back. Yeah.
But yeah, like Now, one thing that this story reminds me was like back when I was like a little like, oh, this is very off tangent, yeah. But when I was a wee kid, right, there was a moment where I saw a news article, yeah, on what's it called? There was an Indian news article, and basically, this man was walking down the what's it called? Walking down the graveyard, right? I think it was a news article, but don't get me wrong. Trying to think of it really hard. It was so back in my childhood, but he was walking past a graveyard and he heard the sounds of a crying lady as well, or someone trying to like scare
I think
him or
crying
something.
ladies are just normal ghost
Yeah,
stories.
but trying to scare him or something. But this I remember so faintly. And
Mm.
then he played this one song from his phone, and it was the most shittiest song he played because the Indian lyrics, shit. It means, please come into my body, please come into my body,
Oh
like
my god.
three or four times. And he played that. And then he went back to his house. He had dinner with his, what's it called, wife and kids. And then suddenly, he got possessed. And he killed his family. And the news
Oh
article
my
said is
goodness.
because he played the song "Please Come to Me" and "Please Come to Me." It's more funny when you hear it in Indian language, but
Yeah.
that shit just
This is
reminded me.
okay, that is the definition of comedy horror.
Oh yeah, that shit. Dude, what comedy horror? He killed his family, bro.
Yeah, I know, but like it started with like that is the most wrong
Stupid.
timing songs of,
Legit, bro.
and he could have just like played an anthem or like I don't
Yeah,
fucking
I
know,
had
Beyonce.
yeah, all the single ladies, I guess. Oh wait, you
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
play that to fucking Sister Nusa, bro. She will fuck you up, bro. Shit. Oh my god, I can't believe we said that. I would. Would you like to add anything to this, Pez? Because I feel
Um,
like you did tell me something similar. I just can't remember.
I don't remember
Are you
anything
sure?
about a nurse, but like I don't
Yeah, there.
actually remember if there is a
No,
nurse
graveyard Pez. Can you think graveyard?
folklore
Graveyard.
graveyards.
Okay, maybe I think I got the wrong person.
Maybe. I don't really have much experience like with late night graves.
Hmm.
Usually like morning ones. I don't know, but like I visited like, relatives graves, right?
Yeah.
And I think like it's normal, but like here where I am or where we are, some of the famous graveyards or at least where my relatives were, it was a bit odd because we usually use the graveyards like um mountains,
Yeah, yeah.
not mountains but like hills. We use
Hills.
those as graveyards, so it kind of just like gives me this thought of just like this is not a stable, it's not like a flat ground.
I feel you on that one.
And then I remember one of my relatives who passed away like years ago was on this very very steep hill,
Uh huh.
and the surface is like there's these like really narrow stair that you go up the hill, right? Because you
Yeah.
can't really make a stable one because of the soil and dampness of the hill. And when you go up the stairs into the small steep surface,
Mm-hmm.
there was rarely any fences, nothing. It's like if you remember uh how to say this, it's not even like flat, it's still like
I
the
actually
tip of a hill,
I
so
picture
everyone
over,
has to
yeah, yeah.
like, yeah, so everyone has to like walk around it, and there's no like flat surface. There are flat surfaces, but like, it's still like on that
Hmm.
steepy hill thing. So I was just thinking like how,
The bodies.
yeah, especially like even if it happened on a rainy night, this shouldn't be a good or safe area where these buried bodies should
Actually
be.
be, right?
Yeah,
I
because like
was.
if the hill has many damp soils and whatnot, it would actually deter and go down. So I'm just like, is this really good for, dead bodies on hills? Because the soils would like run out from the surface, it comes down. So I'm not sure if that's like a good idea. But in terms of like scary stories at graveyards, not much because we usually like fool around at the graveyard. We know we shouldn't, but like I don't know, my family is just weird because I
Weird, bro.
remember this one time I think I told you already, or I think I told in the podcast before. I think in one of my graveyard visits, like with my relatives, there was this one time where I was like, we were doing like our prayers and whatnot, and then I was just sitting there. I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
And then my uncle was there. He came up to me. He was like, "Open your hand." I was like,
What?
"Whoa, what happened?" Because like we have this thing where we like kind of like shower the graves with like sweet smelling water. So they usually sell this outside of the graveyards. So whenever like after our prayers, we usually like pour like sweet scented water on the graves for them to have like an aroma and such to like I don't know cleanse it. Not cleanse, but I think just to make it like a good environment for them
I
in a sense.
see.
Yeah, so I thought he was like giving me like, like flowers and stuff, right? When
Yeah.
he came up to me, he said like, "Hey, Pes, can you open up your hand?" I was like, "Okay." So I open up my hands like really big, right? And then he has his hand closed. Like um he has his hands closed, like both of them, right?
Yeah.
And then he put it on top of my hands. And then when he opened it, it was just a fucking big ass frog. And
What
I was
the
like,
fuck, bro? What?
and I just screamed, right? While everybody was I was like, what the
Bruh. Damn.
But yeah, that's just like some dumbass stories from the graveyards that I had
Hey,
when I was
man. This was our graveyard tangent done by yours truly, the Night Corner.
yeah.
Alright. With that being said, we can move
Let's
on
move on.
to our last urban or slash folktale.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And like, ooh, this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, this one's so
All right,
more in their story.
let's just flex our vocal cords for a minute. I'm kidding. I'm
Okay.
kidding. But yeah, Pest,
I
you can start this shit off. Let's go.
All right. So before we were talking about Suster Ngesot, which is an Indonesian folklore, but now we're gonna move a bit more um sideways. Is it sideways? I
It's
think
yeah,
it's
kind of.
too okay.
It's like
Yeah,
a
it is.
Malaysian one now.
Yeah, it's in Malaysia, so this is a Malaysian a brother, the brethren of Indonesian folklores.
Yes, sir.
So this story is about an Aisha or Aisha's curse, which is a scary urban legend from Malaysia about a young girl who was horribly abused and murdered by four evil men. According to the legend, she will take revenge on anyone who looks at her picture. There you go. So,
Holy
let's
shit.
start off with the rest of the story. Now, Aisha was a shy country girl who lived in Malaysia. She was born in a small village, but in 1984, she moved to the big city, Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of Malaysia. Aisha suffered from a rare disease that gave her photophobia. It meant that her eyes were extremely sensitive to bright light, and it caused her to have severe pounding headaches. For this reason, Aisha always wore dark sunglasses and never allowed anyone to take her photograph because back then you need like a flash, right? To
Yeah.
take photographs. So the flash of the camera would cause horrible, de- debilitating,
Debilitating.
tattering.
Okay. Debilitating headaches.
I hate English.
That's
I
fine.
hate
That's fine.
English. Okay, whatever that word was, and then headache. One day, the factory where Aisha worked was holding its annual party. Every day was having fun, and what?
Everybody.
Everybody was having fun, and Aisha took off her sunglasses. Why do you do that? Someone at the party had a camera and decided to take a picture. As soon as the flash went off, Aisha doubled over in pain and collapsed on the ground.
Hmm.
She was suffering from an intense headache and she began to foam at the mouth. Holy shit, she got a seizure. Damn. The poor girl writhed on the ground until an ambulance arrived and took her to a hospital. Aisha spent 3 days in the hospital, lying in a darkened room. The man who had taken her picture came to visit her and apologized for his carelessness. What is it with the folktales in hospitals today? I don't get it.
Hey man, we chose something like it's so cool the way it's like a coincidence,
Yeah,
you know?
we didn't even know that.
Exactly. What the hell?
Okay,
That's weird.
continuing on. After that, Aisha was forced to stop working. The doctor gave her some medication and told her to spend a long time rest. She just sat at home and only went out at night when it was dark to buy food. Her landlord sympathized with her situation and allowed Aisha to stay in the apartment without paying rent until she was healthy enough to return home. Oh, that's a good landlord. That's the kind of landlord you need.
Damn, bro. I like that. I like that.
1 month later, Aisha was fully recovered and it was time for her to take a stand and get revenge on the world. That's not what they said.
That's
So, for her to make the trip back to the village where she was born. This sounds like Empedicor.
kinda.
That night, after it was dark, Aisha left the house and walked to the bus station. On the way, a car suddenly pulled up in front of her and four men got out. They blocked her path, and when she tried to go around them, they grabbed her and dragged her into the car. The men
Man.
kidnapped her and took her to an empty house on the outskirts of the city. They tried her hands and feet They tied her hands and feet to a chair. Then one of the men took out a knife and cut off her clothes. Aisha was crying and begging them to have mercy on her, but the men just laughed at her. They began beating her and abusing her horribly. One of the men took out a camera to take some photos. Aisha begged him not to take her picture and tried to explain that she had a rare condition that made her extremely sensitive to light. The man just ex- the man just ignored her pleas and started snapping pictures. As soon as the blinding flash went off, Aisha was struck by an intense headache. Her head was pounding, and she was screaming in pain. The men kept beating her, taking picture after picture. Every time the flash went off, she felt like her head was going to explode. Blood began flowing from her nose, ears, and eyes. After suffering for more than 4 hours, Aisha was in terrible pain and could barely move. She was still tied up. The men carried her out to their car and tossed her into the boot. They drove her out a bridge and told her they were going to dump her into the river and let her drown. So just before they threw her into the icy waters, Aisha screamed out, "Anyone who look at my picture without permission, I will punish them in a dream with the same pain that I am experiencing. I swear I will. Though I'm dead, woe to those who see the picture." The next morning, the four men went to the Photoshop to get the photos developed. Why would you? They literally
That
went to a
is
shop
that is
to get the photos
no,
developed.
you know, that
God
is
damn.
speed running how to get arrested.
Wow. They gave the man behind the counter some money and warned
Okay.
him to keep silent about the contents of the pictures. When the men saw the developed photos of Aisha, helpless and embarrassed, nude and beaten, they began shrieking with laughter. Suddenly, the car in which they were traveling swerved and crashed into a tree. One of the branches came through the windshield and smashed straight through the driver's head, killing him instantly. A second man was taken to hospital, but died that evening from severe internal bleeding. Now, a third man survived the crash with only minor injuries, and after bandaging his, the doctors allowed him to leave. On the way back to his house, the man tripped and fell into an open manhole. He laid at the bottom of the sewer with a broken leg, unable to climb up. That night it rained heavily. The water level rose in the sewer and the man drowned. The last guy didn't have a scratch on him and went straight home. But
Hmm.
that night, as he lay in bed, he dreamed that Aisha came to him and began beating him about the head with a stick. When he woke up, he had an extremely bad headache. The pain grew so intense that he couldn't take it anymore. He felt like he was losing his mind and started stabbing himself in the
Jeez.
head with a fork. Jeez, man. He began to regret what he had done and felt like he was being cursed by. He went to the nearest police station and turned himself in, telling them everything he did to Aisha on that fateful night. All the pictures he had taken were handed over to the police. The man was arrested and he was thrown in a cell while police began to search for his body. The man eventually died in prison. He took his own life by banging his head against the wall until his skull was crushed. He was unable to endure the unbearable headaches any longer. Now, oh, 2 days later, Aisha's bloated corpse was found floating in a river. She was taken to the mortuary where they identified her from her fingerprints and performed an autopsy. The doctor who carried out the post-mortem examination had to take a picture of Aisha's corpse as evidence. Oh, well, that effect as well. Damn. When the flash from the camera went off, he was shocked to see Aisha's eyelids suddenly close. Not long afterwards, the doctor was found dead due to an overdose of painkillers. So I think from this point, I'll give it to Mohammed so that he can send it off, basically.
So anyone who looked at the autopsy photographs reported experienced nightmares and severe headaches. Shortly afterwards, they were found dead under mysterious circumstances. Eventually, the police destroyed most of the pictures. They tried to keep the case secret from the public, but rumors of Aisha's curse began to circulate around Malaysia. Some of the post-mortem photographs that were taken of Aisha were leaked and posted on the internet. They say that anyone who looks at these pictures will encounter the ghost of Aisha in their dreams. When they wake up, they will experience severe and chronic headaches. The image of Aisha's corpse will haunt them no matter where they go. Wherever they look, Aisha's picture will appear in their vision. To avoid Aisha's curse, do not search for her pictures online. If you accidentally come across the pictures, do not look directly into her eyes. Do not send these pictures to anyone. If you do, it will mean certain death for you and for them. Okay, so just as a side note, you can definitely Google Aisha's curse if you believe the story or not. I've done it already, but it's kind of gruesome. It's kind of weird.
You saw the picture?
Yeah, plus it's kind of
Damn, man. You could have done it with me. But
yeah. No, Pes. I know you're a baby, so I'll just keep it
what
at
do you
that.
mean? It could have been like a Hito Nasu challenge, but of course, you
No,
had to
it's okay.
spoil it.
It's okay. It's okay. But yeah,
Dang, this guy.
but I think I've read this, what's it called, a long time ago as well. I've seen Aisha's curse picture, I think, if I can remember. But we'll definitely look at it together since you want to. I'll keep
I
that
don't
in
want to
mind.
know.
Nah, I know you want to. But yeah, her story was
Um,
fucking crazy actually. It's like, you know how I feel like this folktale urban legend is. It's like
Sounds like a plot movie.
it is, but it sounds like a message, to people not to do stuff like this because whatever you do, it can come back to bite your ass, and whatever your actions cause, like it will be the what's it called? This benefit of others, like others will get affected by this as well. As as per mentioned, Aisha's curse now. It's kind of it was kind of a good story. I liked it, and the funny part is that we did not know that it would correlate to the other story, like in similar aspects, involving
Hmm.
hospital, like involving what's it called, stupid people murdering, and whatnot, doing the bad stuff.
I mean, that's just like the common premises of most cases.
In Yeah, kind of.
Murders,
I mean, of
hospitals,
course, yeah, yeah.
dying.
I like how the fourth man, like, survived for a bit, like she toying with him, kind of, and
Mm.
then she fucking did all that to him. Oh, he's fucking stabbed himself in the head with a fork, bro. Come on, that's kind of gruesome right there. Jeez, bro.
Gotta have the right amount of strength to like
Yeah, it's a fork.
put, a kitchen fork into your head because your head skull is like very hard.
You know what? Now that you said that, right? I have a morning brain, right? So I not even think our brain was like our craniums, were built with bones, right?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, like you can't do that. It's gonna be weird, bro. Like it's a weird story, but I like it nonetheless. I'm pretty sure Pest
Yeah.
likes it as well. I give this story a 9 out of 10. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
What are you rating?
I'm not rating.
God,
I'm
it
not
goes.
rating. I'm not rating it.
You literally just gave it 9 out of
Yeah,
10.
it's like what we used to do, rating shit. But yeah, this story was actually pretty good. Like I was really invested in it as well.
Yeah.
As like I think both the stories. If I shit, I closed the tab. Fuck. Both the stories were in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 1980s,
Yeah,
something like that.
something like
Yeah,
that.
both of them are
Something
1980s.
like that. All right. Damn, that was pretty good. So guys, wait, do you have anything to add on, Aisha? By the way, my
Uh,
my detective
I don't
buddy.
know. I feel like the curse, that's like chain messages, you know?
It's like the ring, honestly. Like you watch this VHS
Yeah, it's
tape.
like you need to like give it to another person so that you don't have to suffer or
Exactly.
something.
I mean, you will suffer, but like you want someone else to suffer as well, right? Something like that.
Mm, I don't know. I guess so. But yeah, dang, Aisha could have been you know, could
You
have
know.
been a normal, woman just living in the city. But yeah, sadly there's, you know, so many tragedies to a
Yeah.
lot of other people, especially the stories that hasn't been brought to light. So stories like her, it's not much of supernatural, but more of a curse, right? Because she had that like swear at the end before they threw her out of into the river or water.
Yeah. I mean, it's both, supernatural and
Yeah.
curse at the same time.
I wonder how that works though. Like you just scream out you're gonna, curse someone.
I mean, okay, so
And it'll just
you
work
and
out.
me know the actual ways on how to curse people, right? So these are like, these are at the end of the day, guys. These are folk
Yes,
tales
folktales.
and
Plus, like, there's
urban
so many,
legends.
yeah,
Okay,
too many
guys.
specific details that I don't think a journalist would know. Especially if, like, at this story, to make it realistic, it would be the fourth guy who had to explain every single detail about what happened.
But
But I
he
don't think
killed himself.
yeah, and I think he was too scared to even, like, think about it, what exactly happened in
Yeah,
which scenarios.
Aisha was in her head the whole time,
But yeah, damn.
Oh well, there you go, guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this.
There you
Like
go.
we're definitely gonna do. Let me get back to like like a normal.
Horror story. We're gonna give you more debilitating.
Okay, my
Is it
God, debilitating, bro. Come on, it's fine. It's our morning brain.
debilitating?
You know
There
how
you
to
go.
say it. It's just morning brain. But yeah, guys. Hopefully you guys like what's it called? Liked what we did today. We're definitely gonna do more folktales and urban legends as I love these topics, man. I love learning about new what's it called stuff as well. And also we're gonna dive into some horror stories very soon as well. Like we have a lot
Yes,
of
sir.
horror stuff planned up, including some high profile cases. you know. It's
Too
like
much horror in the world.
yes sir, too much horror in the world and Hito Nasu boys will actually, uncover all of them. But yeah,
Hmm.
anything you have to say, closing plus?
I love capybaras.
Okay, all right, nice, buddy. There you go. He likes that. Oh, seriously, Bess, you have a closing statement.
Uh, okay, sorry. For any for anyone who enjoys the series or the Night Core series, what did I just say?
Ni-
Nine Corner series. Oh my god.
It is kind of serious. This is our like.
Yeah, Night Corner horror stuff. If you like it, please consider liking and subscribing. And also, you know what? If you have your own takes about the stories that we've, concluded, why not say it in the comment section where you can comment, and then maybe we can give you our inputs as well. So we would really appreciate you for your support, and hopefully you can support us even further. Thank you so much for being here. Yes.
Thank you guys. And as Beth said, like please do like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, all to my audio listeners as well. I do actually post our YouTube link on our description as well. So
Sure.
just drop by and put your comments if you're listening from audio as well. Like, at the end of the day, we would definitely love to create a safe and secure community, and that's what our thing was. That's what we started with, and so happy that we got this far, and so happy for the love that you guys have been providing. Legit, could not thank you enough for it, and I'll always forever be grateful. Oh my god, it is my morning brain.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
infectious, man.
But yeah, it's funny. I love all of you guys. Well, no matter wherever you are on the day, have a blessed day ahead of you. Even if you're going to sleep, have the blessed day ahead of you the next day or the day after, Who knows? But yeah, thank you guys. And from the Hito Nasu boys, say it with me, Bess. In 3, 2, 1. Stay
Stay goated.
goated. See you guys.
Let's go, bye.
Bye byes.